Samanta Cakkavalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Sandhammang Munirajassa Sunantu Sagga Mokkadang Dhammasavana Kalo Ayan Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayan Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayan Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, all of you are warmly welcome. Today we are going to start our weekly program. First of all, we did loving kind meditation. And do you know the result of cultivating loving kind meditation? Yeah, happiness. If we lost our happiness, it means our mind has desire or anger. That is the reason we lose our happiness in our mind. If we are angry with somebody, it means we have no happiness. That is why in Buddhism, at the very beginning, the Lord Buddha explained the importance of cultivating loving kindness. You know, there is a very special discourse in Buddhism, Satipatthana Sutta. Satipatthana means mindfulness. Mindful discourse. Great mindful discourse. That is a very important discourse or topic in Buddhism. There it says the importance of cultivating loving kindness. It says there, Vinaya Loke Abhijjaha Domanassam. At the very beginning, if you are going to practice something in the name of happiness, you have to give up the desire and or big attachment and anger. That is very important. Suddenly we can give up all things, but we should not give up the things. We have to avoid, we have to give up the attachment. We can live with our children. We can live with our parents or our relatives. It doesn't matter. It is not the problem. The problem is the big attachment. Therefore, if we have the big attachment, when something changes, we are sad, we worry. And also, if we are angry with somebody, it means we have lost our happiness. If person can cultivate loving kind meditation again and again, then he can live with happiness. We have discussed the highest result cultivating loving kind meditation. You can remember? What is the highest result that we practice loving kind meditation? Yeah, happiness. And also, we have some sort of special attitude as the result of, as soon as we look at a person, what is attitude that we have?
Love them like you love your own son, your only son.
Yeah. As soon as we look at a person, we can understand, we know, we consider that person as our only son or daughter. And also, actually, that is also very some middle level attitude. But we have to overcome that level too. Even though we consider some person as our own son, then that son becomes some sadness or some difficulties, we worry. But in the primary level, difficulties we can overcome as the practicing of loving kind meditation, as considering some person as our only son. But later, we have to think another step, that when we look at a person, as soon as we should have an ability to understand this person is not only physical body, but this person is activating not only with physical body, but also with mind. When mind and matter together, we say there is a person. If the mind suddenly goes away, then this body is not an active person, then it is a dead body. It can't anything, it can nothing. Therefore, as soon as we look at a person, we can understand this physical body, not only the person, this physical body, but also mind. Then both of them are together, we say there is a person. Then we can avoid the anger and desire that we have in our mind. That is also some sort of middle level attitude. But that level also we have to overcome. When we look at a person outside, we should have an ability to understand this concept arises in my mind. According to my attitude, according to my vision, I can see this person. If my attitude is changed, this concept also change. That is the nature of the experience that we get through our senses, through our eye, through our ear, through our nose, through our tongue, through our physical body. We get all experience through these senses, organs. Then, the primary level, we have to understand as soon as look at a person, this is our only son or daughter. And next level, we have to consider that that person is not only physical body, but also with the mind. Then, and also we have to overcome that concept too, that in the highest level, as soon as we look at something, as soon as we listen something, as soon as we hear something, as soon as we smell something, we taste something, we know this concept arises through my senses with mind. On the other hand, we have discussed about the 5 aggregates. You can remember 5 aggregates? If we have some sort of experience, it means the 5 aggregates arise together. Not only arise, but it disappears at the moment. What are the 5 aggregates? Matter, or form, feeling, and perception, mental formation, and consciousness. These 5 things are together always. We can divide these 5 things. If we have some sort of experience, we see some sort of thing outside, but it means these 5 things arise in our mind. That is the nature of our whole experience. But we can never see these 5 things. For example, when you drink some tea, you can find only tea. But there are some things with tea. What they are? Sugar and tea, water, there are something together. But those things you can find, you can see, but you can find only tea or coffee. Our experience also like that. We can't see the 5 aggregates, but we can see something outside. If we can see something outside as matter or as feelings or as hearing or something, if we have some sort of experience, it means these 5 aggregates arise together. But these 5 things cannot be seen. They are hidden. They are hidden. But the people are ignored because of misunderstanding. When we see this chair, we catch this one, but actually we have only this experience. That is the final ultimate truth. But we can see some chair, we can buy something. It is the conventional truth. We should not avoid the conventional truth. We should live with the people in the world. We have to adjust. We have to be familiar with conventional truth. It doesn't matter. But if we like to overcome the suffering, we have to understand the ultimate truth. This is the path of that we have to practice in our day-to-day life. If you are intelligent, if you are wise, this is the path, this is the steps that you have overcome, you have passed, you have to overcome, you have to practice. According to your wisdom, according to your intelligence, you can go forward on this way. If you are at the very bottom line, if you are in the first level, you can consider that person, say, as your only son. But it is also very high level conception, high level development. We should respect that situation because many people can do it. It is a very difficult challenge. But it is not the final level. It is only beginning. It is only the start. But little by little, we have to go forward. We should have only 2 things to practice these qualities. The first thing is mindfulness or awareness. Mindfulness is like our best friend. Mindfulness is the best friend of our life. And also we should have another quality, that wisdom or insight meditation. If we have these 2 qualities together, it means we are on the way in happiness. Day by day we go forward with happiness. If we face some difficulties, if we study in the college, or if we do some jobs, everywhere we can practice this knowledge if we have mindfulness. When we drive, when we cook something in the kitchen, and when we do some activities with our children, if we do our job in the workplace, everywhere we can practice this knowledge if we have mindfulness or awareness and wisdom or insight or intelligence. Both of them are very important to cultivate the happiness in our life. These are the things that we have to practice in our day-to-day life in the name of happiness. But mostly we can see the people who are in the world, they do for the happiness only studying and earning money. Only these things that they do in the name of happiness. But even though we are very rich, even though we are very beautiful or handsome, even though we are very healthy people, we can't overcome the suffering. If a person would like to overcome the suffering, that person has to cultivate this concept and practice these qualities in his life. That is why at the very beginning we should have this knowledge. When we consider the Buddha's message, there is a very special stanza. I think you can remember. Last days we discussed. I think Ms. Pam also can remember. The all teachings that Buddha delivered can be included in one stanza, one verse. Yeah, Sabba Papa Sakarana. Sabba Papa Sakarana. Sabba Papa Sakaranam. It means, what is the mean? Not to do any evil. Not to do any evil. And this is the first advice in the name of happiness. Little by little we try to overcome some negative activities in our life. If we have some sort of bad activities in our life, it means we are with troubles. It means our mind is not clear. Our mind is not calm and quiet. If we have some sort of mistakes in our life, physically or verbally, if we have some sort of negative, bad activities, it means our mind is polluted. That is why we have to overcome, we have to give up negative activities in our life, behaviorally and verbally. Putta, can you understand what I say? Yeah, I think my English is some different. Yeah, but if you have some problems, please you ask me. I can explain. Actually, you know, I am also studying English still, little by. Yeah, I try to. But I know you are like, although you are a Sinhalese, you can speak English as a native speaker. That is why you have some problems when I speak. But however, I try to do my best. The second one is the Kusalatsa Upasampada. Kusalatsa Upasampada. This is the Buddha's language. This is here. Kusalatsa Upasampada means cultivate or do good. To do good or meritorious deeds. Not to do any evil and cultivate or do good or meritorious deeds in your life. This is the second advice. The third advice is Sachitta Pariyodapanam. Sachitta Pariyodapanam. Sachitta Pariyodapanam means to purify one's mind. To purify one's mind. And fourth one is it is not advice. Etam Buddhana Sasana. Etam buddhana sasanam. This is the message. This is the message of the Buddha. Buddhas, this is plural. Not only one Buddha, but who were born in the world as Buddhas, who will be born in the future. All Buddhas explain this same message. According to situation, according to persons, it may change, but this is the summary of teaching of any Buddha who is appeared in the world. Who appeared in the world. What is the, let's we chant once or twice this stanza, very important stanza. This is the summary, this is the spirit of the Buddha's message. Let's we chant together, please. Sambha papassa akaranam kusalassa upasampada sajenta pariyodapanam etam buddhana sasanam. Sambha papassa akaranam kusalassa upasampada sajenta pariyodapanam etam buddhana sasanam. Actually, all of these are described in the name of happiness. If we have suffering, it means we don't practice these things. That is why we have to suffer in our life. If a person would like to overcome the suffering that person have in his day-to-day life, that person try to practice these advice in his life. The first one is not to do any evil. Desire, hatred, jealousy, those things, when we have those negative qualities or negative thoughts, it means our mind is polluted. Our mind is not beautiful when those negative thoughts are in our mind. That is why we have to remove these negative thoughts which are evil in our life. The second one is we should do not only avoiding negative thoughts, but we have to cultivate good as generosity, morality, kindness, friendliness, or wisdom, or intelligence. Those, or morality, or virtue, or discipline, if we cultivate good thoughts, it means when we practice some good activities in our life, it means our mind is rich in merits. If we do something as good, as meritorious deeds in our life, practicing generosity or morality or wisdom, it means when we practice these meritorious deeds, it means our life is rich in merits. That is very important. The Lord Buddha explained that Sukho Punyasa Ucchayo. It means if a person do more meritorious deeds, it means that person cultivate or develop more happiness. And keeping his mind as pure and calm, if a person develops some good activities in his life, as generosity, kindness, friendliness, virtue, wisdom, when we practice those qualities, at that moment our mind is rich in happiness. If our mind is rich in merits, it means our mind is rich in happiness. And also for that we have to cultivate, we have to develop mindfulness. If we lose our mindfulness, it means our mind has not real discipline. Then that is why always we should have the attention, intention, mindfulness, awareness. That is very, very important. Not only for happiness, but if we like to go forward in the education or some sort of successful way in our life, we should have the awareness or mindfulness. That is very important. Then this step is very high step. To purify one's mind. It means we have to remove some negative thoughts from our mind. Not only to do good deeds, but we try to give up, we try to decrease our negative attitude in our mind. Then if we have controlled our mind inside, then automatically our behavior and our speech is correct. It means it is merit. If we can focus our mind suddenly, automatically our activities are correct. Our attitude are with meritorious deeds. For that, we should have a very special thing we have discussed already. We should have real understanding, right understanding, correct view, correct vision. Vision is the most important thing that whether we suffer or not, whether we are happy or not. The main thing is that in our life is right understanding, right view. What is the right view? What is the correct view in our life? It means, Buddha says it as Sammaditthi. Sammaditthi means that is the very first step of Eightfold Path. Have you heard Eightfold Path? Yeah. There are very special topic in Buddhism, Eightfold Path. There are 8 steps that we have to practice. At the very beginning, the first step is the right understanding or correct view, right vision. This is the very, very important thing which we should cultivate, we should develop again and again. What is the nature of correct understanding or right view?
Right thoughts.
Huh?
Right thoughts.
Yeah, right thought. It is the second step. How we know that we have the right understanding or correct view or correct vision?
Understanding of dependent origination.
Yeah, one of them is that. But the first step is the belief or confidence of karmic law. You know karmic law? Yeah, karmic law means. Okay, you are welcome. Okay. Happy to meet you. Okay. Okay. We were discussing about yeah, karmic law. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay. You can take a drink too. Take a water, please. You are tired. Then I put off the switch of AC. If you like, I can put on again. If you want. Yeah. Okay. Should I go and put on the switch? Okay. Left side, I think. Near the door. Very early I put on the switch and later I put off. because I thought that it is so called.
Yeah, okay, but a little bit maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. We have been discussing about the right view or right understanding. The success of our life depends on the right understanding or right view. A right view is divided into two. The first step is what is the first step? Understanding of confidence of karmic law. Karmic law means if we do something with wicked mind, verbally or physically, it means we will have the bad results because of polluted mind. If we do something with pure mind, because of purification of the mind, we will have the good results. This is the very first step that we should know and we should practice. If a person has real understanding or confidence about this law, this is a world law. Even though the Lord Buddha explained this one, this doesn't belong to Buddha too. This is a world reality. This teaching doesn't belong to Buddha too. This is a world reality. If we do some bad activities in our life, it means we have to face some problems in our life. Not only hereafter, but in this life itself we have to face some sort of problems. That is why we have to overcome, we have to give up some negative activities in our life as evil. And also we should not giving up negative ideas, negative activities in our life, but we have to cultivate good. When we do some good deeds again and again in our life, it means we can increase our aura. You know, every person has an aura. Aura means we have some sort of very light around our body. Some scientists have discovered it using some instruments. Then our mind is very pure and calm and quiet, and also always we do some good activities in our life with pure mind. Then we can increase this aura in our life. It means gradually we are growing up with happiness. Some persons can disturb us when we are strong, when we are rich in these good activities. It means our mind is very high in merits. It is a good benefit for our life. There are several benefits that when we practice these qualities. And also there are some results. We have to face some result in this life as the result of our previous life or previous period. We have to face some bad situations as the result of our negative activities in our previous life or this life in the previous period. If we cultivate this good again and again, if we can cultivate good, meritorious deeds again and again, then we can control those negative results too. That is very important. Daily, every day, we should try to cultivate, develop our good activities in our life, purify our mind. That is very important thing. This is the second step in Buddhism. The third step is very important. We are discussing with the right understanding. We know the karmic law. We know not only karmic law, but also there are some people in the world who have understood the karmic law, but there are some wrong things in their life. There are a lot of people in the world they have overcome some negative activities in their life and they cultivate some good in their life, day-to-day life. But they think that there is a special thing which is certain in his inside, in his life. Then that idea also is a negative one. We have to overcome that negative attitude too. And everything is impermanent, even our mind also. Even our mind is impermanent. That is the very high level understanding. We should know everything is impermanent. Everything changes every time. And again this experience arises and disappears. Then if a person can understand our experience, every time our experience arises and disappears, again and again this experience arises and disappears. If we can understand this impermanent, then we can overcome our anger and desire and delusion very fast. Not only practicing good and avoiding negative or evils, but if a person has this concept, that person can go forward very fast with strong experience in his life. At the very first level, at the very surface level, we try to avoid some negative activities. We try to develop some good deeds as generosity or meditation. Then when we go up, we can catch all things with our mind and we can understand the impermanence, and we know everything, every experience always arises, always disappears. We have only one experience at once. At one time we have only one experience. That one experience is our life. When you think your children, you are a mom. When you think your parents, you are a son or daughter. When you think your diploma or degree, you are graduated. You graduated from a high school or college or university. When you think your job, you are a worker. Every moment we have only one experience. That is only our life. If we can understand this situation, always we try to keep our mind pure and calm. Investigating the world reality as impermanent, as suffering, and as egolessness, as selflessness. If we can understand this situation, we try to practice this very fast in our life. For that we have to practice some very high qualities in our life. Not only practicing generosity and normal generosity and meditation. Those are the primary level, some sort of meritorious deeds. When we are growing up with the knowledge and understanding, our mind is very rich in very highest concept, highest attitude. Then we can understand all things arise together, all things disappear together at once. Then we have no jealousy, we have no anger, we have no desire. But don't forget, we don't neglect our duties, responsibilities. We don't give up our responsibilities and duties. We fulfill our all duties in our day-to-day life. not only completing, fulfilling our duties, but if we study, we do that also. We study very fast if we have this knowledge. That is why, as a successful person, according to Buddhism, as a skillful person, if we have this knowledge, you are a very fortunate person in the world. Because always you are rich in merits, and also always you are rich in highest understanding, which causes to overcome suffering in your life. When a person blames you, when a person disturbs you, you are ready to avoid that negative ideas, negative attitude about that person. And again, if we can practice this knowledge in our life, then we can increase our very highest qualities. Then one day we discussed about very special thing. One day we discussed, as soon as the Lord Buddha meets a person, what does he look at that person? What about the Lord Buddha look at that person? As soon as the Lord Buddha meets a person, looks a person, what does he consider about that person?
I believe that they're not just a person, but a spiritual.
Yeah, very good. How much spirituality that person has developed, cultivated. The Lord Buddha never considered that person's caste or money or appearance. Buddha never considered. Buddha considered only how much spirituality that person has cultivated in his life. That is the very, very important thing. As soon as the Lord Buddha meets a person, he considers how much that person has cultivated his spirituality. That spirituality can be divided into 5. Those things are in your paper that I gave you. Those all qualities that we have accumulated in our previous life and our previous period in this life, we can divide all our spiritual qualities according to 5. What they are? What? Faith or confidence, energy and mindfulness, concentration and wisdom. These are our property. Actually, this is our dowry. You know dowry? You know dowry? You know dowry? Please say what is dowry?
Dowry is something that you give when you're giving away your daughter to marry.
Yeah. That is it. Especially when a daughter is going to get married, the parents give something, some house or land or some furniture or something.
Well, they present gifts with her, like
dowry,
jewels, different things like that. So it's kind of not an American custom. Not an American custom.
It is rare in American culture, but especially we can see it in the Asian countries. Here actually Buddha says, this is our real dowry, this is our property, this is our wealth, this is our money, real money in our life. Nobody can destroy these things if we are very strong in mentally. Then the first step is Buddha says it has saddha. Saddha means confidence. Confidence means confidence about this knowledge. Not only for the Buddha's physical body. We respect, as the gratitude people, we respect the Lord Buddha. But here, Buddha considered as saddha or faith or confidence, belief in his teaching. Although we say his teaching, we describe always it doesn't belong to Buddha too. This is the world reality. The understanding of karmic law and understanding of dependent origination, if a person has some sort of confidence or faith about the karmic law and dependent origination, it says as saddha, as faith or confidence. Actually, this is very important. Everywhere we should have this faith. Not only when we are going to practice some religious activities, but when we are going to study somewhere near a teacher, we have some sort of confidence that teacher has some sort of knowledge about the subject or language. When we are going to a doctor, we have some sort of confidence about that doctor has some sort of qualifications to give medicine. That is why we go there. Some people think that, especially the educated people, they think that the faith is not good. But if we should have faith, not only practicing some sort of religion, but we should not the blind faith. Buddhism doesn't encourage for blind faith. Blind faith is not good. We should have understanding confidence, understanding faith. When I explain these things, you can understand yourself. This is true. Nobody can say that this is false. That is the confidence of faith in his teaching. That is very important. As much as we have confidence, we are ready to practice this path. That is why it is very important. When sometimes Buddha explained this reality, there were some persons in the Buddha's period, they were getting ready to get married tomorrow. They gave up all things and they ordained near the Buddha. There were some persons who were getting ready to open new palace. Some people gave up all things and they became a monk. There were some persons who were getting ready to get the crown as a king. Some persons gave up all things. They came to the Buddha and became a monk. Because of this confidence, because of this faith. Actually, this is the real way that we have to practice in the name of happiness. That is why this is very important. As much as we have some sort of confidence or faith in this teaching, we are ready to practice this knowledge while we do our day-to-day activities. We don't give up our duties in day-to-day life. As mom or as dad, as children, we don't give up our duties, our responsibilities. We fulfill our duties in our life. While we are fulfilling our day-to-day life duties, we are ready to practice this knowledge for the real happiness. That is why this is very important. The first step is faith. When we have faith, we are encouraged. We are encouraged by the faith. This is the thing that when we practice this knowledge, the result is visible. The results are visible. That is why we increase our courage to go forward. as much as we have faith or confidence, we are ready to go forward because of courage, encouragement or courage. That is very important. Courage is also can be divided into 4. What is the courage? In 1 week we have described about courage. Courage, firstly, courage can be divided into 2. Avoiding evils and cultivate good. And again, those 2 things can be divided into by 2 as 4. Then we try to not to do some bad deeds that already we don't do. And we try to decrease some negative activities that already we do. And also we try to cultivate some good that already we don't do. And we try to cultivate and improve some good deeds that already we do. Can you understand? Yeah, courage is divided into 4. The first one is we try to decrease some negative activities in our life that already we don't do. We try to increase some negative activities in our life that already we don't do. That is the first one. The second one is we try to decrease some negative activities that already we do. And third one, we try to start or do some good, some meritorious deeds that already we don't do. And fourth one is we try to cultivate and develop and increase some meritorious deeds or some good which already we are doing. That is very important thing. Again and again, every day when we are going to bed, we concentrate what negative deeds, what evils that I didn't do, what good deeds that I did. When you go to the bed at night, every day you can concentrate it. That is also a meditation. That is every day try to do a lot of meritorious deeds. That is very important. Then you are very strong. Even Puta, you can help your brothers too. That is also a merit. If you can help your mom or father, that is also a merit. We don't want money to do some good deeds. When we practice some generosity or alms giving, we should have some money. But when we cultivate a lot of good deeds, we should not have money. When we practice morality or virtue, when we practice meditation, it doesn't need money. Although we have no money, we can practice a lot of meritorious deeds in our life. And that is the very good blessing in our life. Always we consider, we wish some blessings from outside. But if we do some meritorious deeds every day, I think that is the best blessing in our life. That is very important. The third one is very, very important. This is the middle of 5. Mindfulness is the middle of among five things. Mindfulness is the best friend of our life. Then what is the mindfulness? What is the mindfulness? Mindfulness is a very common topic in current society. Everywhere the people, educated people, even scientists describe this mindfulness. Everywhere we can see mindfulness. Most people think that when we do something, we should live in the present moment. The people have understood mindfulness as live in present moment. But the mindfulness that Buddhism says it is a very deep topic. We never tell that you have to forget your previous activities or you have to forget your future. Buddhism never says. As soon as some experience comes to our mind, if we have real awareness or mindfulness, then that is the nature of the mindfulness. That is the practicing of mindfulness. We may think some of previous experience. It doesn't matter. As soon as we think, as soon as some experience comes to our mind, we should have an ability to understand, now I remember my previous experience. Then we should consider about our mind. Then not only mind, when we have some sort of activities in our physical body, we should have good awareness. Then if we have real awareness about our physical body and our speech, and then we don't get something as certain. We can understand the impermanence. You know, we have some sort of activities in our life. Although we have some activities, this body is only not our life. We have another thing in our life as mind. But mostly the people in the society, in the world, they think the person is only physical body. We have some sort of activities in our physical body and our speech because of our mind. If we have no mind, how is our body? Our body is like it. Yeah. Body it is like a dead body. That's the nature. If we have real mindfulness, as soon as we have some sort of activities in our life, we know this is not only the physical body, but it has mind too. Then again and again we concentrate this world reality. And also we think some sort of feelings. If we have some feelings through our senses, like eye, ear, through these senses, if we have some sort of experience, we can get some feelings, good or bad feelings. When we get these feelings, we consider these feelings as impermanent. We don't get those things as permanence. Always we consider these feelings as impermanence. For example, as soon as you sat down here, you are very comfortable. And after a few minutes, you are uncomfortable. Negative feelings. But at the very beginning, when you sat down, you are very happy, you are very comfortable. But gradually, it overcomes. And when you stand up, again you are very comfortable. again you are comfortable. When you are standing 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 1 hour, then then you are uncomfortable. These are the feelings. When we start some new behavior, we consider as it is as enjoyment, as happiness. But gradually it overcomes. That is the nature of impermanence. If you can understand this reality, you don't have attachment with the feelings. And you don't have the angry or destruction about these feelings. You have the real knowledge about this experience, feelings as impermanence. You don't get anything as certain because of your knowledge. When you practice mindfulness again and again, you don't take anything as certain. We know the changing. We know the impermanence. We can decrease gradually attachment about the world. That is the nature of the practice in mindfulness. And also when some ideas, when some thoughts come to your mind, you have some sort of knowledge. For example, as soon as you look at a person at first, very new person, your mind is very pleasant, very attractive, as soon as you look at a person at first. But if you associate with that person closely, what happens? Gradually, that attitude changes. That is the nature. But at the very beginning, we are very happy. We are very attractive. We are surprised at sometimes. But the nature of this is changing. Then if a person can understand this impermanence, he can decrease the attachment and anger in his life. It means he develops the equanimity. Then he can live without suffering, even though he faces suffering or happiness. He has no difference whether he faces suffering or happiness, because he practices equanimity, middle. If you can practice, equanimity. Equanimity means middle path, or we don't have attachment or some distraction or anger. Upeksha. Equanimity. Equanimity is the very important thing in Buddhism. It describes in the future, but here it is only described only mindfulness. That is very important. Then cultivating mindfulness is the very, very important thing. In one side, we should focus our mind particular object, and also we should understand the impermanence. Both things are very important. And next one is the concentration or samadhi. This one also very important, concentration. Concentration means if we can focus our mind particular object as loving kindness, as friendliness, as breathing meditation, if we can concentrate our mind in a particular object again and again, we can keep our mind for a long time in the same idea, same attitude. Then our mind is very calm and quiet. Even though some problems come to us, we are able to live without suffering because of concentrated mind. Here, this is a very important thing, the object of mindfulness, sati nimitta. It means, it says in Buddhism, sati nimitta. Sati nimitta means when we meditate, we should keep our intention end of our nose or upper lip. When we talk, we can do it, but other times when we do some activities, if we can keep our mind here around this area, keep in our mind in the particular place, we can do all things with mindfulness and concentration. Then if you have mindfulness and concentration about this situation, you have no mistakes, you have no angry, you have no big attachment. Your mind is very calm and quiet. Your mind is very smooth and very soft.
Is that because it's hard to focus on anything else if you focus on the area?
But
I'm trying that right now. I'm
but
paying attention to
for
it,
example, although we focus here, we don't give up our activities. We do all our activities. For example, when I look at there, when I focus in that thing, I can hear you, I can see you, but my mind is there. And I focus there, focusing there, I do all things. That is why, that is the sign that we have the mindfulness. If we lost this thing, it means we have lost mindfulness.
So an analogy of that would be when you remember in boot camp last time we had to stand.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You hold your foot
Yeah.
and you focus on something. If
Yeah.
you focus on something, you keep your foot. If you lose focus, you drop your foot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That is good example.
I couldn't explain
Yeah.
that.
That is very important.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah. Actually, if we can practice this one, it is not difficult. Gradually we can increase it. That is very important. We should start at least 1 or 2 minutes for a day. We can do for a long time for a day. But at the very beginning, if we can start this at least with 1 minute and 2 minutes, gradually we can increase it. That is very important. We were discussing about mindfulness and also concentration. If we have concentration, it means we are very rich. Nobody can disturb us if we have real concentration. Already we have accumulated a lot of good qualities in our life, human values. Don't give a chance to a person to destroy your values in your life. Don't give a chance a person to destroy your concentration or mindfulness. If you are a skillful person, if you are a smart person, if you are a gifted person, if you have real knowledge about this situation, don't give a chance to a person to destroy or disturb your concentration and mindfulness. That is the symbol that we see you are a skillful person. That is very important. With the concentrated mind, we have to reflect. We have to investigate the world reality as impermanence. That is the step of wisdom, or fifth one. That is the nature of the fifth one, panya. Panya means intelligence or wisdom. Buddhism says wisdom as gems. The human beings, which the human being has very valuable gem, is the panya or wisdom. There are very valuable things in the world. Gold or jewelry and gems. What are the more valuable things? Gems or jewelry or gold? Gems. Gems are the more important, more valuable. Among gems, what are the most valuable gem? Diamond. Yeah.
Even though I like rubies too.
Yeah. Actually, this is the real diamond in our life, wisdom. Buddhism says, as an example for wisdom, wisdom is the gem, especially diamond, like a diamond. Some people who earn some wealth as gold or jewelry, but some people don't collect gold, they collect gems. In this country, this state, golden land, you know, this California is the golden land. And how is Sri Lanka? Ratnadeepa. Ratnadeepa means the land of gems. Sri Lanka is the symbol of the gems. There are a lot of gems in Sri Lanka. Although it is a very small country, especially there is a place like it is said very big city, Ratnapura, like Los Angeles. There are everywhere there are a lot of gems. People dig the ground and get them more. Actually, the wisdom is the real gem of our life. This is the real thing that we should have in the name of happiness. If we have the knowledge of dependent origination, if we have the knowledge of cause and effect, if we have the knowledge of impermanence or uncertain, it means we have no suffering. We can overcome the suffering, we can avoid the suffering. That is why Buddha says this is the very, very important thing. We have to increase this wisdom in the maximum level. What is the nature of the practice in wisdom highest level? We have described it already. What is the highest position of practice in wisdom? Yeah, happiness. No, what is the symbol? What is the sign that we can see that we have this wisdom?
Then you have no suffering.
Yeah, that is the result. I ask you, what is the symbol? How we know that we have the real wisdom? Understanding also. As soon as we look at something, as soon as we hear something, as soon as you taste something, if you have a knowledge, this knowledge, this experience arises this moment. If you have this knowledge at once, at the moment, suddenly, if you know this knowledge, this is the sign, this is the symbol that we know that you have this knowledge, this wisdom. It is very difficult. Gradually we have to increase it. Day by day, we have to spend some time to cultivate this knowledge. Actually, we should have only knowledge. If we have knowledge, we can practice while we are doing our day-to-day activities. Like breathing. For breathing, we should not have to spend time. While we are doing all activities, we breathe in and out. Practicing this wisdom also like this. We have to spend time to listen in this message. We should not have the time to practice this knowledge. Practicing this knowledge is living our day-to-day life. We should have only mindfulness and knowledge. If you have this knowledge, if we can practice mindfulness and concentration, then we are living with wisdom, decreasing the suffering.
So that's the key to to knowing if we have real wisdom?
Yeah.
If we can practice mindfulness and...
Yeah, actually those 5 things are together. Those 5 things are together. As much as we have saddha or faith, we have courage. As much as we have courage, we have mindfulness. As much as we have concentration, we have wisdom too. These 5 things are together. For example, when you run fast to your house, your body is reaching to your house, you are reaching to look at your parents, your brothers and sisters, you are reaching to your room, you are reaching to your vehicle, all things are, you are reaching to all things. This also like that. If you have one thing among them, you have all things, all 5 things. Then again and again, if we can practice these things, we are on the way in happiness, real happiness. While we are doing all activities in our day-to-day life, studying, doing jobs, fulfilling our duties, doing all things, we practice this knowledge in our day-to-day life. It means day by day we are reaching the real happiness. Nobody can change us. Nobody can disturb us. Nobody can gain suffering to us. We are rich, we are strong in mindfulness and concentration and understanding. That is why we have to practice. Actually, when you practice these things, you can see the results. When you practice these things, the results are visible. Then your faith also increases, because this is the visible result. That is very important. Then I think these are the 5 spiritual faculties. Buddha says these are Indriya Dhamma. Indriya means spiritual things. Pancha means 5. The topic, 5 spiritual faculties. 5 means Pancha. Indriya means spiritual things. Dhamma means both are together. Indriya Dhamma, spiritual faculties. Actually, this is your real property. This is your real dowry. This is your real relative. This is your real friend. Buddha says very clearly, if you have these things, you have real property, you have real wealth, you have real dowry, you have real friends. This is the thing that we see your success. If you are rich in education, if you are high level in education or GPA, if you are rich in money, actually we don't consider that you are a successful person, a skillful person. We consider you, we think you that a successful person. If you have these qualities, we think that you have the proficiency. If you have cultivated, developed these qualities, we consider that you are a smart, bright, gifted person. What is the reason? You are living with happiness. You have no suffering. You have concentration, you have good energy to fulfill good deeds, and you have mindfulness. You reflect always the arising and overcome. Then you have a real knowledge about the world. You can live in the society without attachments and anger, fulfilling your all duties very well. you never avoid any sort of your duties in your life when you practice these qualities. As much as you practice these qualities in your life, you will fulfill your all duties very well, more than that you did in first. That is the very important thing. If you have any problem, you can ask. If you have questions, you can ask, please. Yeah. Yeah, that is a very important topic. Actually, this is the very blessing chanting too. Yeah, there are some people, they every day in the morning as soon as they get up, they chant this verse in the water. Sambha Papasakarana. They say 7 times and they drink in the morning. This is the highest blessing every day. Yeah. Jalapirita කියලා කියන්නේ. It is a Jalapirita.
This is the highest blessing, he said?
Yeah, this stanza is the highest blessing. You know, in our country, before the fertilizer went to our country, the people chant this verse to sand. Especially now, still now in our country, some places, you know, Digavapi area in our country, they chant this verse to water and sand. They keep water and sand everywhere. They are paddy fields. The ants don't disturb those cultivates. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That is
Before the fertilizer came.
yeah. Still some people practice. Especially in the morning, early morning, if you can chant this verse to water and drink it, that is the very best blessing all of day. Yeah, that is very important. Then again, let's we chant once this verse. That is very important for blessing all of you. Sambha papassa akaranam kusalassa upasampada Sachinta pariyodapanam etang buddhana sasanam. One more please. Sambha papassa akaranam kusalassa upasampada Sachinta pariyodapanam etang buddhana sasanam. This is the best blessing for your life. If you can practice not only chanting, but we have to practice these teachings in our day-to-day life. In both way, we can get the result. In chanting and practicing.
What's the word for purify?
Purify, pariyo. Pariyo means pariyo. Pirisidu karanawa. Sachitta means one's mind. Yeah, chitta means mind. Sachitta means one's mind. Chitta means, you know, chitta, mind. Yeah. Dapana means control. Mm-hmm.
Means purify.
Oh yeah, purify and control. Yeah. Then actually this is a very special topic in Buddhism, that we described the 5 spiritual faculties. Those things are very important. If we are growing up with these 5 faculties, it means we are earning the real property in our life. Yeah, try to practice these things. First thing is we should have the good knowledge, what we have to practice. If we have no real knowledge, we have nothing to practice. If we have real knowledge, we can practice these things in our day-to-day life. Try to do something, try to practice some generosity and morality and virtue and meditation again and again. If you practice good qualities in your life, it means you are thinking these meritorious deeds. If you think these meritorious deeds, it means your mind is pure and calm. It means you are happy. You are not worried. Yeah. It is called? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, put on the switch. Now we are going to. I'm sorry, I couldn't. Yeah, okay, we discussed a lot. I think now the time we are going to finish. I would like to thank all of you. Because of you, I could explain a lot of things, and I also could accumulate some merits because of you are here. Then therefore I appreciate your coming, and I wish you all the best. And also with happiness, I believe I wish you the all best in your life. And also let's we transfer all merits that we accumulated in this moment to our beloved departed relatives too. This is the Buddhist tradition. When we do any kind of merits, end of these merits, usually we transfer the merits to our departed relatives too. That is our tradition. We believe that when we do some meritorious deeds, our mind is very rich in merits. That a strong mind can help our other people too. Especially we believe that when we do some meritorious deeds, when we accumulated some meritorious deeds, we transfer to those merits to our beloved relatives too. That tradition now we are going to do. With that intention, let's we transfer all merits. You came here faithfully. First of all, you meditated and you listening this message as the light of your life, and you cultivated your mind and you purified your mind, and doing those all activities, you accumulated a lot of merits. Let's we transfer all merits to our beloved departed relatives too. With that intention, let's we transfer those merits. With reciting the stanza. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukita hontu. Idam me ñāti nam hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Let's see transfer these merits to divine persons, angels too. May they receive in these merits, may they protect you, may they keep their eye on you too. With that intention, let's be recite that gatha or stanza. Ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Ettavataca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Okay, I wish you all the best. Thank you for your coming. Okay.
So that one